For all the viewers, thank you for your time here and all the drives that you did.
Pete.
I really enjoyed it. All right.
Bye, everybody.
Well, then that brings up our next special guest, Pippa Homer. Pippa, welcome. This is the best chair, but just still be a little bit careful. We have another chair like this because we like to typically have two chairs that are the same, but that's only safe if you put it against the fence. So that's why I'm sitting on this one here. It is actually not too uncomfortable and it's quite sturdy, so that's fine. But yeah, Pippa, welcome. We've been trying to get her on, I think especially Emily, for quite a long time. And finally, she agreed to it, so we definitely just want to make that opportunity just so she can't change her mind.
Sure, no problem.
Just a little bit about Pippa before I'm gonna, because Pippa and Yuri, as most of you know, you've heard a lot of Pippa's and Yuri's house with all the equipment that we have and things like that. But now we're gonna go past the house and look at the people that are in it. And yeah, Pippa and Yuri, they are the owners of Juma Game Reserve, and they have been involved and partners and supporting with Graham from his first experiments with live wildlife camps back 10 years ago now, I think.
Yeah, 98.
Yeah, so
exciting times.
The wheelbarrow cam and things like that. So we've come a long way since then, but they're still very much involved. And also from a personal note, I must say, we really appreciate that we can be here at Juma. It's a lovely place, and you've even opened the house for our equipment.
It's a pleasure.
So yeah, we really enjoyed it. But yeah, so Pippa, maybe just so the viewers get to know you a little bit better, can you maybe just tell us a little bit about yourself and your family and?
Well, I've got a fine art background, so Game Lodge business was quite far from what my ambitions were early on. And it just came about that in '93, leading up to the big change in South Africa, we needed to do something with this beautiful piece of land. And in those days we were only employing 2 people, which was not the best option to be having moving into the new democracy. So we decided we'd give a go at starting a game lodge.
Okay.
Which my husband's a biologist, so he thought he'd do the drive. So that sort of cooked over a campfire a couple of times. So I thought, okay, I'll do the cooking. And that's more or less how it started. And we gave ourselves 3 years, and we decided if it's a dismal failure, we will pack up and move along to whatever else is happening. But it ended up being quite a success. We started off with 8 guests at Bush Lodge, and within a few years we'd expanded. We had 3 lodges going with 42 beds, and at the present day we're employing 70 people full-time and quite a lot part-time.
Yeah.
So it's been a great success.
Because Vuyatella is probably to our viewers the best known one, because that's the area that we are now. But Vuyatella is actually the newest of the 3 additions to parts of Juma, I would think.
Well, the original camp at Vuyatella was built in the 50s. And but as far as the game lodge itself goes, we built it in 1999. And it was the one lodge that we built from scratch to become a game lodge, whereas Bush Lodge was Yuri's family holiday retreat, which we turned into a game lodge. And our other lodge, Gallagher, is on our neighbour's farm, Buffelshoek, which I'm sure you hear a lot about.
Yeah, we hear a lot of Buffelshoek,
And we manage that lodge for Buffelshoek.
Gallagher is self-catering.
Self-catered, yes.
That must also be fascinating to stay there.
And apart from that, when I moved to the bush, I was a real city girl. Couldn't handle insects. A snake was just the worst thing I could ever come across. I couldn't look at a frog. And now I'm quite friendly with all of them.
That's great. That's the nice thing about the bush. Also, you need to, you basically develop yourself, because you start with a fear of something and stuff, and then you get to know it, and then you find it's very interesting rather than scary.
I knew if I didn't get a grip on the snake situation, I wouldn't have lasted long. And I'll never forget one day the kitchen at Bush Lodge, that's where I started off, was open plan, and because it's a thatch construction with little walls and so on, it's pretty much open to the bush. And I heard this squeaking coming from the back of the fridge, which I've now learnt is the undeniable sound of a spotted bush snake catching a foam nest frog. Anyway, sort of had a little look behind into the mechanics of the fridge, and there, true enough, was the snake with the frog. And of course I screamed and got boys to come running in to help me. And a friend of ours was visiting from Johannesburg, and he's a friend of my older brother's. And he grabbed the snake by its tail and then realized he couldn't identify it. And all I knew was, here's Big Brother's friend coming to chase me with a snake. And his only option was to start swinging the snake around above his head, which he eventually launched over the riverbed into the bush on the other side. But I ran into the bush, and I think it took 2 hours to get me back into the lodge. So that was one of those horrific experiences which I've since managed to at least hold a pose.
That's amazing, yeah.
Yeah.
No, but that is the thing. If you come from the city, then the first nights, I was speaking to some other people that was in Louis with it. The first night they typically don't sleep because of all, they miss the city noise and they hear all these little things. You can maybe hear that now even on the microphone. It's just the crickets, but then there's a hyena in the background, and then
I now find those
sleep.
noises very reassuring. It's now when those noises stop, you know there's something up.
Something wrong, yeah.
But I was sleeping in a tent in Botswana in the Okavango once, and I had one of those situations where the noises stopped, and then there was this definite noise of something large moving around, and it was a hippo that had come to. But you know, you're sitting with this thin little layer of canvas, and you're just thinking, you know, you can't. What do you do? And you just overcome your fear, and you realize you're safe where you are.
Yeah, but it's amazing how even this little layer of canvas with a tent, how much protection it gives, because they typically, well, you can't say always, but they it's actually they hardly ever just go through or something, or it's just, as long as you close your flap, then you're fine.
I can't even remember if the flap was closed. But certainly things have become a lot easier over the years. It's been going on 14 years now here in the bush, and I've managed to get a grip on most things.
Okay, that's good.
And love it. Every day is different.
And you're going to have a bit more spare time in the future as well now, with some changes with the Juma organization, if you want to call it that.
Yeah. We've realized that Juma had grown a lot bigger than Yuri and I ever expected when we started out. And we realized it was time to get in the professionals, because neither of us had game lodge experience, and so although we've done, I'd say, a remarkable job this far. So we've got an operations company in called Seasons in Africa, and they also run several other game lodges and hotels.
Oh, okay.
And they've got an international marketing wing as well, and they're coming in, well, they've already came in last Monday, and we'll be taking over the reins and taking Juma to the next level.
That's going to happen soon, or is it already happened?
It happened on the 1st of December.
Oh, okay.
But obviously all these things, you know, we need to settle into it and so on. So I'm sure over the next month or two, we'll be feeling less pressure, they'll be feeling more, and we'll take Juma to the next level.
But you're probably going to have the most relaxed Christmas in years then, I guess. So.
Yeah, I was actually thinking, I think this will be the first holiday I'll be going away without my laptop.
That must
looking forward to it.
They must be sure to leave that behind, because if you have your laptop, then